Hey, everybody. And just wanted to take a few minutes to chat here for a little bit. I was talking with a friend of mine this morning or this afternoon. We were talking about faith and how that works. And so it's one of those things where I've thought about that for many, many years and have been practicing it. And it's definitely not an easy road when it comes to faith. And what exactly does that mean? So, it's you. The definition is you have to have faith in something greater than you that will take care of you in trying times, and also just that you're always universally taken care of, or that things are going to work out in your best interest, so to speak, I guess is the best way to put it. And so times like this, they are geared towards building faith. And so with that being said, we are now in this interesting time where we're quarantined and locked down, most of us at our house from around the world. I have friends around the world and I've been chatting with them, and it's pretty common. The common theme is, some people are saying, well, I'm enjoying myself because I'm able to catch up on a lot of things. And then I'd like to be able to get out and do some stuff with my life, and and enjoy my friends and stuff like that. And some people are without work, and they're really worried about that and how they're going to be able to pay their bills and take care of their families and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot going on right now. And so when it comes down to faith, it's interesting because most that know me know I went through a very hard time back in the last recession. And so that was very trying for me. I lost my job and all that kind of stuff, and went without an income for quite some time. And so, what does that mean for all of us? What we're going through right now? Some of you have been furloughed on your jobs, or have lost your jobs, or that you work in the hospitality industry, and there's very limited hours and that kind of stuff. And it's not just about this virus; it's about everything that's going on social media. There's constant influx of stimulation about concepts of how this happened, why this happened. And so, and then all the stuff that's going on a global and national level, and everybody is upset at some level, or they're going through some kind of emotional state. So with this comes to faith, we have to separate ourselves from what is happening just for a moment. And that's what it means about putting this, whatever it is I'm going through, in somebody else's hands. And some people will say, well, I can't see it. I can't see whatever it is that's creating this universe, or that's supposedly supposed to take care of me. And it's you're right. You can't see it physically, but with that being said, there is all kinds of things that are going on within the world that will help you see that things are going in the right direction, or that things are working in your favor. And if you really pay attention to your life and things that are going on around it, the spirit or the universe gives you the symbols or things to pay attention to. Um, it's a lot of things. I mean, I was just watching, my friend Catherine posted a video of this gentleman that found these puppies that were lost and took them in, and that was just a symbol to me that there are caring and loving people in the world. But what I'm trying to say too is that spiritual energy, what it does is it gives you something to pay attention to. So it could be somebody walking up to you and saying, I love you. And what I need you to understand is that that energy of somebody coming up and saying, I love you to you, is not just that person. However, since we're a collective of oneness of spiritual energy, that God lies within all of us, or spiritual energy or the universe lies within all of us, that is that energy, that higher energy, talking through them as well. I had an interesting experience, probably, I guess maybe about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago or something like that, where a colleague of mine, we were out at happy hour, and they pulled me aside and basically told me that I had needed to grow some balls. And so, and that he really liked me, and that he really enjoyed my who I am as a person, and that I'm very intelligent and all that other kind of stuff. But he had noticed that I hold back at sometimes. And when I really thought about it, it made me start to realize that, yeah, I'm a public speaker and I get out and speak and all that other kind of stuff. But I had been spent so many years that when I would say things where people would argue with me or put me down and kind of stuff, where I'd gotten to the point where I was just like, not even going to bother. And that's not a good thing. And so that means that closes this area up in the throat chakra, that kind of stuff. But it was a message to me, and it's interesting enough because we connected eye to eye, and so when we connected eye to eye, it was almost like the universe was talking through this person. And so these things happen all the time, and I'm sure that you can relate to this, where it could be a family member, an aunt or an uncle, a mom, a dad, a spouse, or somebody. It is them and their personality, but it also is it's a higher power that's talking through you. There's also what we would call synchronicity, and synchronicity is basically the universe giving you these things that just sync up with what's going on. So somebody, you could say something or feel something or think something, and then boom, it's happening, or you're seeing something that is very similar to what you're going through right at that moment. There's also all these other symbols. I like numbers, and I see the sequence of numbers 33 or 333 or 333, 4 threes consistently. Some people see 1 1 or 11 11, that kind of stuff. And there is also the animal speak book. I see animals all the time, or they come up in my life, and I'll be like, "Whoa, that's interesting." And it's something that where you stop and look. If you pull up the animal speak book, you can see the animal totem and what it means. But these are just some examples, and those are a little bit more metaphysical because I tap into practice and I've been studying metaphysics. But what about for the people that are out there that are Christian or that don't believe in some of the things that I believe in? There is still a tremendous amount of things that happen. It was interesting. I was driving down the road many, many years ago, and I happened to be driving to work that day, and I was stressing and worrying about a lot of things. And then there was a car that drove by and asked me to roll down the window, and I was on the interstate, so it was really weird. And I said, what they were trying to say is that your tire is low, but what it came across when they were lipping it is it said, slow down and stop worrying about things. That's what I saw. And it was interesting because I was like, whoa, that's really peculiar. But these things happen on a regular basis. There are things that the universe is trying to talk to you all the time. And it's not always like this huge, like, awe moment where there's sun and light radiating down from the sky. It's just these simple moments where people can say things to you, or that things happen in your life and they help you see. And so what ends up happening? What does this have to do with faith? It's guiding you. And so what ends up happening is that your body tells you what's going on. So if you got pains in your body, like pains in the knees and stuff like that, the knees are about support and flexibility. So it could be where you're sitting there going, well, like, where am I not being flexible? Where am I being inflexible? There's a lot of things where we just have to pay attention. And I would recommend the books from Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. It's not just about healing your life, it's about the energy that she talks about in that. Also, Catherine Ponder's Dynamic Laws of Healing. And you know what? Pull up the spiritual scriptures that you follow. A lot of times they have really good lessons. One of the things I do for spiritual guidance is I'll open up a book, and I'll be like, all right, well, give me an answer in this book, and I'll open it up and I'll just read. And you have to open your mind a little bit, because if you're reading it word for word, literal word, not always is that always going to give you exactly what you're looking for. So it's like you have to open your mind, because there is something, we're looking in the metaphors, and so those are some things that are interesting that are out there as well. Another thing that happened to me years ago is I was stressing about something, and I walked out to go to the bank and was going to get in my car, and this butterfly flew right in front of me and held right there in front of my face. Well, what is a butterfly about? It transforms itself from one state to another. And it just happened to be in that moment that if I would just let go of whatever was going on, I was going to transmute or transform into a new state of thinking. And so those are things that you have to start to look at. And like I said, the universe is constantly trying to talk to you, but you have to listen. And so we're sometimes the people that are like looking for some kind of spiritual guidance, like God coming down off of this mountaintop or flying down on the sky. It's not always how it works. It's just this guidance or this inner guidance that we get throughout the day, and it can be a lot of things. It's like another thing is that one of my friends loves to say, and I love this phrase, is that when you're paddling up a river, when things are getting so hard, in other words, you're trying to work towards this goal, but it feels like you're in a canoe trying to paddle against the stream, then you probably need to let go and see if there's another direction, or at least think about it. And so there's just some things that you can think about. So the universe, like I said, the universe is trying to talk to you all the time. So we're in this lockdown. We're all in these stay-at-home orders right now. So what's that all about? Well, think about that. A lot of us that are extroverts and are used to social interaction, we're having to go through the whole being separated from people we care about and not being able to be active, that kind of stuff. That's trying. For those of you that are not introverts, or that are introverts, my friends that are introverts, they're like, I'm enjoying this. I'm loving this. I'm going to be able to play my video games and all that other kind of stuff, and that's great. So, however, then there's some of them are saying, I do like to be at home, but this is going to be a little bit ridiculous. And so there's just a lot of stuff. So where's the opportunity on that? Well, the opportunity is to spend time looking at those thoughts. And so it's interesting, as those thoughts have come up, then anger has come up. And so emotions are like beach balls underwater. And so there is all these things where human beings, no matter how gifted you are or how amazing you are, what a spiritual teacher you are, there's times when you brush things under the rug. I mean, it just happens. I mean, great spiritual teachers do it all the time. And why? Because in the moment, you just don't think about it, and it just becomes something where you just kind of brush it under the rug, and then, well, what ends up happening, times like this make it surface, because then you're lost in your thoughts. And what ends up happening, we get so busy in our lives. And we get so busy doing all the things that we're doing, work, projects, career, business, family, friends, loved ones, constant. And so what's the story of the Bodhi tree, the Buddha at the Bodhi tree about? It's about him sitting there in quiet, having to face all of his demons. So what are we at right now? We're at our Bodhi tree. We're at this time where we can sit there and really look within. And yeah, it's not easy. Oh, trust me. There's times where I've just got these emotions coming up. However, when I come out on the other side of this, I'll have a lot more inner peace. And it's so funny because I laugh at myself sometimes at the thoughts that pop up in my head. And I thought, you wrote a book called Peace Be Still, and that wasn't very peaceful. And those are times when you have to just kind of laugh at yourself. And you have to really just get into yourself and go, you're entertaining. And you have to smile with yourself, and you have to kind of love yourself enough to say, hey, wait a second, that wasn't super peaceful. And you have to go with that. So there's a lot going on right now. Everybody hang in there. We're almost through all this. And it's interesting. I just read an article that said our stay-at-home order in Pinellas County is going to be extended till at least April 17th, which is next week. I decided that I'm going to fly and see my family next week in Phoenix. And so I'm going to go and spend a week with them, and I'll be working from there as well. So it'll be very good for me, because I haven't seen them since the end of 2016, beginning of 2017. So yeah, lots happening, and but there is a lot of opportunities there for us to do wonderful things. So as you've said before, if you guys go to my website, jeremymcdonald.net, you can go there, sign up for my newsletter. If you do that, it sends you back a downloadable CD that's about 78 minutes long. We got time right now, so it's something that I think you will enjoy. It's me and my friend Virginia Drake talking for about 78 minutes. I am also offering a BOGO sale right now. So if you go to my my website. There's a banner right on the front of the website. And basically what it is it's if you buy one 45-minute session/reading, I will be giving you a second one for free for later or to give away to somebody else. Much love, everybody. I am really excited about what's happening, and not with the world, but that's going on inside of me. And I'm also seeing a lot of compassion that's happening within the world amongst my friends and people I care about, and the things that I'm seeing online. And I'm also seeing a lot of anger, and that's okay too, because those are those beach balls underwater that are coming up, and it's time for us all to face it. So much love and peace. Everybody have a great weekend.